You've heard us talk about them. They're in, and they're on the website.
Absolutely. Our brand new America's Diesel podcast, branded bills, badass, flex fit, performance material, sweat stain resistant. It literally feels like it cools your head.
I don't know how that's possible, but somehow it is. Yeah, you can rock it. You know, I'm more of a flat bill kind of guy. You can do that. You can curve it. For all you taco holder guys, you can even throw that in there. Yeah. And then snap back with a little bit of the flex fit. Yeah. Big head approved, small head approved.
And it's extremely comfortable. I almost guarantee, I say almost guarantee. No, I guarantee this is the most comfortable hat you will ever wear. And the logo, rubber. Awesome. Yeah. Came out great.
Super detailed rubber on there, so it's never going to fade on you. If you want to get one of these in your hands, they are $50, shipped to the lower 48, plus tax, if applicable in your state. Just go on the dieselpowerproducts.com, search hat, look for the fantastic Jam and Eagle logo, and pick yourself up some before they're out of stock.
Yeah.
America's Diesel Podcast.
Brought to you by Diesel Power Products.
America's Diesel Superstore.
No salesman,
just enthusiasts.
DieselPowerProducts.com.
Your number one source for all things diesel.
Freaking Freight Shaking Jake just hooking us up.
With nothing but the good stuff. We've got Biden prone. And we've got Biden butt wipes. Make toilet paper soft again. Yeah. One of the things I love about these kind of things is like the commitment to the entire packaging. Like everything about this is like even the bottom. Yeah. Says what is it? Material, virgin wood pulp. Is that real? I don't know if it's
but yeah.
Sheet size 100 by 100 millimeters. Wow. Presidential toilet roll. It's just.
I like how there's a big old turd on top of his head.
Smoother than a Biden bidet. Badangadoo.
Badangadoo.
A Biden bidet badangadoo. Yeah.
Oh yeah, bust him open.
Bust him open.
I kind of want to like hang one like a flag coming out of his.
And like yes. Hey.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Hurts no one.
What's the
stimulates the economy? Come on, man.
What's your horse face pony soldier? What is it? What was that?
I can't remember.
Dog face pony soldier?
Yeah, something.
Dog face pony soldier.
Like a dog. Like a dog.
Like a dog.
Well, anyways, thank you, Freight Shaking Jake.
Yeah, always just killing it with the gifts.
Yeah. Should people want to send us stuff, which you by all means do not have to, but we appreciate that.
You send us something cool, it sits on our table.
Yeah. As long as it's like...
We're not asking for anything.
No.
So you jerks out there that say, they're just trying to get free stuff. Really?
Yeah. As long as it's like close enough to being appropriate, we'll put them on the table.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot for us not to put it on the table. I'll put that out there because obviously no one watches this. Yeah. So no one's going to care.
This week's podcast episode is brought to you by Fuel Bomb Diesel Additive, an additive designed for diesel enthusiasts, made by diesel enthusiasts. Ben, take it away.
Hell yeah, dude. So this is our in-house Fuel Bomb fuel additive for your diesel truck. Our biggest thing here is making sure that you can pretty much always have diesel additive on you all the time. You've got a lot of other additives out on the market that they have, anti-gel in there all the time. They have cetane in there all the time. They end up being big and bulky bottles. Our standard everyday diesel fuel additive is 1 ounce per 32 gallons, and that's its main job is to make sure that your fuel system stays lubricated and prevents the formation of algae. And it should also help you in colder climates too.
Should definitely help you in colder climates. Along with cleaning your fuel system and maintaining it, it'll also help you bump that cetane number up for a more efficient burn of your diesel fuel. And if cetane is just what you're after, there's the Fuel Bomb Hellfire, which is our straight 8+ cetane enhancer.
Yeah, and you guys asked, and we brought them back. We did go away from the bottles that didn't have the measuring little parts in there. We brought them back for you, so now you can measure out your 1 ounce per 32 gallons for the F-Bomb or 4 ounces per 32 gallons for the Hellfire.
Both these additives are available on our website, dieselpowerproducts.com. Now let's get back to that episode.
Let's get this intro out of the way. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This is Ben and Tyler from America's Diesel Podcast coming at you in Spokane, Washington, up in the Pacific Northwest. Not Seattle. Don't confuse us with them. We're on the other side of the state.
Yeah.
We're like western Idaho, sort of northwestern Idaho. I don't freaking know.
I feel like Idaho gets offended every time we try to claim.
I'm sure they do.
You guys come over here all the time.
Yeah.
all the time.
Whatever. Anyways, you can check us out on all podcast platforms: Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. You can find us on there by searching America's Diesel Podcast. We're also on the social medias: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. YouTube is probably the best place if you want to start leaving comments on an episode. We do have a lively chat that goes on there. We got some people that comment pretty much all the time, which is great. On the Instagrams, let's get this out there real quick there. We film these on Wednesdays. We usually film 2 episodes, and we have a break while we get everything all set up again for episode number 2. And we usually crack a beer. Well, we got barley juices right now.
Time,
yeah, we crack a beer for the, and then we go live on our Instagram. So make sure and follow us at America's Diesel Podcast on Instagram. We usually go live right around 4:30, 4:45 Pacific Standard Time on a Wednesday. But yeah, you can chime in, have a beer with the boys, talk about whatever, and let us know your plans for the weekend, whatever you got going on. It's a great way to interact. And if you want to ask some point blank questions, the best way you can put that is the Instagram Live, no filters, no BS. I'm not saying we're filtered and there's BS on here, but if you want like the raw dog version, Instagram Live is where your recipes. The raw, the real raw dog version is on the Instagram Live because I don't save those and I don't post them.
Yeah.
There's a reason. All right. Yeah. Tyler, reviews.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's keep those reviews coming in, boys. Leave that 5-star review on any of those platforms that Ben mentioned earlier. Screenshot it and send it to podcast at dieselpowerproducts.com. Make sure to include a picture of your truck and an address that we can send a decal to. Looks just like our logo. Boom. Soon to be on hats the day after the magnificent day of 4th of July.
Yeah, they ship out. By the time this podcast comes out, they should already be possibly in some of your hands. But yeah. These are due to ship on July 5th. If you have not seen or heard of them, we got those super nice branded Bills hats. Again, by now you should probably have an image of them in your head. If not, we'll have them on Instagram. But yeah, they're really, really nice hats. Nice logoing on there. They do not show sweat stains, and they last a freaking long ass time, which is awesome.
And they're super comfortable too.
Super comfortable. And the other thing too is like you may not think about this until you actually have one in your hands. They're really light.
Yeah.
Like you forget you have it on.
I'm a hat guy. Obviously, my hairline looks like I'm 85 years old. I wear hats all the time. This is the only hat I will buy. Like the only hat
I didn't buy this one.
And I don't know about you guys, but I mean, there's a lot of cool, companies that have cool hats, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure a lot of diesel companies have, their logo on there and it's a cool looking hat, but it's a cheap ass hat.
Right.
And there's nothing worse than having a cool logo on a hat that you hate.
Exactly.
Like this, I promise you guys, this hat is going to be freaking badass. Yeah, you're going to love him.
It's the same hat as what you're wearing, right?
It's the same hat as it's on my head right now, yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell if you're watching, but yeah, Tyler has one of those hats on. It is actually truly one of the branded Bills hats. It's not like a knockoff or like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's get this thing started out. We got one more thing to go here. If you are a podcast listener, which if you're listening to this, congratulations, you're a podcast listener and you're ordering from Diesel Power Products, make sure that you let us know. That way we can attribute that to the podcast. If you're talking to someone on the phone, let them know you're a podcast listener. If you're ordering online, put it in the delivery notes section. Just type the word podcast and I can find them and tally them all up. If you did order and you forgot, or something like that, or you just found this podcast, let me know. Slide into my DMs, call me, shoot me an email, whatever, with your information, and I'll find it and flag it. You're good to go there. And lastly, if you need parts for your diesel pickup, make sure and check out dieselpowerproducts.com. We got sales techs on the phone 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday, and they will get your questions answered at the right time every time. If you're looking for a part on the website and you're wondering if it's in stock and it says quick ship on there, it's verified, in stock, pull the trigger, let it ride. You are good to go. We literally have a team making sure those things are accurate all the time. And lastly, if you are ordering parts for your truck, and it's a diesel pickup, and you're listening to this, and you're not ordering from Diesel Power Products, I want to know why. Yeah. Not because I'm a dick, not because I want to fight with you, but because we are always trying to grow and get better. And if there's something that we're missing or something that we're not doing right, I want to know about it so we can potentially fix it. And again, be the best in the industry. That's our goal. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's just even like recommendations as far as product info, we get messages all the time from the sales guys that we need to add some info to a product listing or something like that. Whenever we try to go above and beyond when it comes down to those type of things to make sure that you have all the information that you need right in one spot, so you don't have to go looking for something if you have a question that needs to be answered. So Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get this podcast on the road.
Let's get it on the road.
So I'm going to start off with a project that you had.
Oh, it's a dirt road.
It's the road.
No.
So Tyler, if you didn't know, he has a side-by-side. He's one of those diesel guys that also does some side-by-side, which I know a lot of you guys do.
I think pretty much everybody that owns a side-by-side probably has a diesel truck.
Yeah.
I mean, I would put money that 95% of them do.
A very large percentage.
Yeah, so I got a buddy of mine. He's got a 16 Duramax. We go camping with him all the time. He's got a big toy hauler.
You said he.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard Duramax, and I thought.
Yeah. He's a cool dude. He's a plumber.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a plumber.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's a dude who knows his way around a pipe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and he drives a Duramax. Interesting.
Interesting. Anyways, he had a 2017 Razor XP4 Turbo. Memorial Day, it was him, but he completely grenaded his turbo. And you might be asking yourself, why is a diesel podcast talk about side-by-side stuff? Because here's the thing. Being in the diesel industry and messing with turbos and things, like you can obviously figure out what's wrong pretty quick on another turbo to whatever, especially if it is the turbo. You're like, okay. First of all, the turbos that are used on those Polarises are the cutest little. They're like a Christmas ornament.
I know, I was out in the shop and like looking at stuff because we got a new video segment coming out sometime soon, and I saw some of Cooper's old ones back there. Yeah. And I saw it and I was like,
they're so small.
Is this a display?
Dude, the compressor and the turbine wheel are so small.
Yeah,
so small. Anyways, he had blew off a couple of fins on the exhaust side. Bent the shaft. Like you could, he tried sending it in to get rebuilt to a better, like kind of like what Fleece does, like with the Cheetah series, where you can send it in and get it built to a larger size. He tried doing that, but it was just too far gone. But they sent him back his turbo in a box in a bag, and because it was all apart. Well, I pulled out the turbine wheel that's attached to the shaft, and I held it up, and you can literally see the bend in the shaft just by looking at it. Like, whoa, dude! And the coolest thing about that whole thing failing is the compressor wheel never contacted, which I don't know how, but it didn't. It never contacted the compressor housing. There was no scoring on the compressor housing whatsoever.
Was the exhaust side chewed to hell?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that means like it bent basically at the journal bearing. So that side was wiki wonky, but yeah.
Yeah. So, he grenaded that thing. I told him to his dad's house, which I should have got a picture of this, and I never did. A Honda towing a Polaris. It was glorious. I was sitting in the driver's seat, and my wife's next to me. I'm like, and it was. The strap that we had was like a Harbor Freight, like hook on each side, yellow, like no bungee.
Just a piece of shit.
It was a piece of shit, dude. But and this thing's not on. He doesn't have it running, so his brakes are shit. His steering shit because they're electric. It's EPS, electric power steering. So none of that's working, and so there's a lot of on the toe strap. And Cass is like, "We're gonna mess up our side." I'm like, "No, it's fine. I'm not on the throttle. It's gonna jerk us a couple of times." I was like, "You have no idea how this makes me feel right now. Like someone needs to hop out and take a picture of this because he had told me at one time, he's like, I'm never riding in a Honda. I'm like, oh yeah. What about now, Keith?
Yeah.
So, anyways, we got at the end of Memorial Weekend, he actually had a friend of his borrow his trailer. So he had to go to my house after we got back to grab my trailer to go grab his side-by-side and bring it back. Well, the following day, what was that, a Tuesday? Mm-hmm. I went over to his house. We yarded that turbo off in like 2 hours and had that thing out of there. Hooked him up with a dyno jet drop-in, ball bearing, water-cooled turbo. It's like 4 or 5 millimeters bigger on the compressor side, and
which is that's like a 20% increase.
Yeah. That's actually exactly what they say for that year is a 20% increase. And so I hooked him up with that. Went and helped him install that, and it was really fun because he's a plumber, so he doesn't really he knows basic mechanic stuff, but he doesn't know turbos. He doesn't know. I mean, not that you needed to know a lot for this particular job, but it was just one of those things that to me it was completely simple. It was easy to do from the amount of turbos that I've done on diesel trucks.
Yeah.
Like okay, oil feed, oil drain. We need exhaust, intake, wastegate stuff. Like it's
this
the
should
same.
fit flush. This needs to go here. Yeah.
100%. So it was cool for me to kind of pass some of that knowledge on to him. And that's we were talking about that earlier. This is what diesel guys need to do. Help out your buddies.
Yeah. There's no
especially if you know what
gatekeeping.
you're doing. Yeah. So especially if you know what you're doing. I didn't necessarily know what I was doing on a Razor engine, but I know how a turbo works and I know how shit goes back together. So it worked out really good. We got him back up and running within a week. The biggest wait was trying to figure out what turbo to do, and we were waiting for because he's got there's a company called Bikeman that does a bunch of stuff for Polaris and other belt style CTV style machines. So he's got their exhaust, he's got their clutch and that sort of thing. So we were originally going to get him the dyno jet, and then I don't know why we never looked at Bikeman's website, but they do, again, similar to like the Cheetahs that Fleece does. And I'm like, dude, just send it back. It's like $1,000 less. Like, just send it to them and see if they can build it. And so we had to wait for that process. And then as soon as he got the call that they couldn't build it, I was like, okay, dyno jet done, order.
Yeah.
Got it all installed. Man, first of all, I know like journal bearing, like I'm half and half on journal bearing versus ball bearing turbos. Like I know for the longest time, Garrett, were you here when we had those on the website, the Garrett drop-ins for the 5.9 Cummins?
Yeah.
The ball bearings,
out of
the Power Max. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people will say they're badass. Some people will say they're not worth the money because you can't rebuild them. You need to buy a whole center section. I'm, still on the fence with that. I mean, I like a good journal. A journal bearing turbo has never steered me wrong.
Right.
Especially if it's a upgraded journal bearing where it's a 360-degree thrust washer. Like SXE stuff. Like those are all journal bearing badass. Never have any problems. And even if you do, you can rebuild them.
Yeah.
As long as nothing's that screwed up. But I tell you what, man, that ball bearing noise is just something different. It's just something different.
When you came in and mentioned that, it immediately brought me back to the 38R I had on the first excursion.
Yeah.
And that first noise of it like lighting up.
Yeah.
And there's something, I can't even explain the noise. It's like a little bit of a whine almost. The best way I could put it is if you're not used to it, like the first time I drove, I think my sister was in there. And she kept thinking there was a cop like 2 or 3 miles behind us trying to get by or something like that every time it lit up. She's like, what the hell? Yeah. But ball bearing makes me.
Dude, it sounds so good, and that thing rips now, man. Like that's a fast 4-seater side by side.
Yeah.
Like I drove it before the turbo blew, and I was already like, this thing freaking moves. Like it moves out good. So I haven't rode in it. Actually, we did ride in it just around the neighborhood to kind of break the turbo in a little bit. But I was never in it with him when he started getting on it. The ride we went to, which by the way, we went up to my favorite spot up there off of Tacoma Creek Road. You can go to the top of it's called Kalispell Peak. Freaking awesome, badass ride. That was so much fun. So much fun because you get on the top of that hill, mountain, whatever it is, peak, and you could like there's like radio towers and whatnot, and like a little parking lot, right? And then in between these two buildings, there's this like rock, sort of peak, literally a peak, and that's the highest point of that mountain. So you could literally walk up and stand on the peak and look 360 degrees around and see. It's so awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll have to, next time we go up there, I'll take you boys up there. We couldn't get up there because of the snow. We had to drive around snow to even get up there. So it was because the snow drifts were just too deep. But yeah, it was fun.
June. What the hell weather?
I know. Seriously.
I think we make that the backup plan in case everything fails on this next blues weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got another boys. You guys heard the podcast, but we got another boys trip coming up, and it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
Well,
another thing I wanted to talk about. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to. I don't want to say I'm hypermiling, but but with fuel
I think
prices,
you kind of are.
a little bit. I kind of. My goal now. I know we call this the Liometer,
Right.
which is the. Yes, we call it the Liometer. Okay, because usually it starts lying when you've got a lot of things done to the truck.
Yeah.
You know it's not correct.
Tyler's got a 2500 Ram,
Yeah.
bone ass stock.
Yeah, it's got 25,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
I know. I was actually thinking about this today. I'm like, I should probably do something to my truck. Like I probably should. Like I do the diesel podcast, our podcast. I work here. Like I probably should like put something. Like I keep on buying stupid. Not stupid. I keep on buying like side by side shit.
He's holding a steering wheel, by the way.
Badass steering wheel. It's just, it's so cheap and it's so fun. But yeah, I was just thinking about that today. I should probably like do something to my truck. So maybe next time I got some spare change
I
later.
think you
on,
should
I'll
do
some-
the Banks intake manifold.
I know. I want to.
Banks intake manifold, some transmission tuning.
I actually think I'm going to order a thermal bypass for the transmission.
Nice. Okay.
I just loaded one from PPE on the site on the site. So I think I'm going to do that. That'll be my first mod. She's a banger, guys.
Yeah.
So hold on.
Watch out.
But again, with fuel prices the way they are, I drive my truck every single day. I got rid of my commuter beater car, sold it back to the person that sold it to me. Pretty sure he hasn't touched it. I would still have it if I had room for it and be driving that, but I just don't have the room.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been looking at my mileage, and I've been trying to. When I first started this, and this was like end of last week, I started kind of just paying attention to what it was saying. So I went from the Liometer, which I think next time I fill up, I'm going to hand calculate it and see how close it actually is. Yeah. But it was saying I was at like 19.2, and I was like, wow. I was like, that's actually pretty good. like 19 miles a gallon on a freaking 3/4 ton long bed giant sail, like
Emissions intact.
Yeah,
everybody talking.
like that's pretty damn good.
That. You gotta delete it.
Yeah, bullshit. So I've been paying attention to it and trying to drive really, really nice today. And I told myself, I was like, if I hit 20, I'm going to consider that a win, and I'm not going to really give a crap.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been driving it, and I've been watching my average go up and up and up. And then when I left for lunch today, I was at 19.8. And I was like, oh, I'm hitting 20. I'm hitting 20 today. Got to my house, 20.1. Drove all the way back. I checked it in the parking lot. As soon as I got here, 20.1. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I made it. I made it to 20.
Well, and let's go over some of the, because I can hear some of you guys probably yelling at the stereo right now, or whatever. Lion, that's not accurate. That's not accurate. Okay, I hear you. That's why we call it the Liometer. Okay, I got you. The main thing I want to focus on here is that there was an increase.
Yeah.
One thing that the Liometer doesn't lie about is movement.
Right.
Like, you could, let's say the Liometer is telling you you're getting 45 miles a gallon.
Right.
And all of a sudden now you're getting 30. Well, something changed. Are you actually getting 45? Are you actually getting 30? I don't care, but it's a good unit to compare.
Yeah.
A good measurement to compare, because at least that part's relative. Even if it's way off, at least
Even if it's
not going to tell you wrong.
A mile per gallon off.
Yeah.
Still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like if I'm getting 19, okay, it's at 20 right now. If I'm averaging 19 miles per gallon in that truck, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show you that changing your driving habits
Is huge.
Huge. One of the things that we talk about, I mean, obviously with fuel as high as it is, what can I do to get better mileage? Calm down.
Yeah, and it's
Drive
super
like
hard
a
sometimes.
grandpa. It's really hard. I've tried.
It's super hard sometimes, but you just gotta. It's self-control, people. Self-control. it truly does. I mean, like Ben was saying, if it's going up, it's going up. I mean, I highly doubt that it's that far off, especially on a stock truck. Usually, when you start tuning and doing other things, it starts to not be correct. But I bet you I'm within like a half mile per gallon what it actually is.
And when we say stock, I mean he still has the factory tires on it.
Yes.
Like this is dead ass stock.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I've tried to get better mileage in my Excursion, and it doesn't really change.
Doesn't really change. What are you getting?
Hand calculated, my combined is about 16.5.
That's not bad. I would say that's average. That's normal.
And I will say the injectors are definitely on their way out. There's some to be. I guarantee even if I just put stock injectors back in, I probably would see an increase there. And honestly, I think one of the biggest things that holds that thing back from like that daily driving and getting that mileage is obviously it's heavy. It's not that much more heavy than your truck.
No.
But the 4-speed transmission.
Yeah.
You only have so much you can work with.
Yeah.
And you're by having at least a 6-speed transmission, you can make sure that you're getting off the line without using more throttle, and you're cruising using less throttle.
Yeah, and the fact that the body shape probably does as good as a brick in a wind tunnel.
I think yours and mine are probably the drag coefficient in your and my trucks are probably not.
How do we measure
off.
that? How do we measure that?
In a wind tunnel?
That's it?
Yeah.
No.
Properly? Yeah.
Shit.
That's where
on a windy day, can we just get a smoke bomb and just set it out in front of each of our trucks and see?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Speaking of for like drag coefficient stuff, just going back to like when I was in school, there is my professors, and this kind of goes to show you that like airplane guys are a lot of times are motorhead guys, but they're also sort of nerds that find a way to complete their experiments in a very redneck or like gearhead type of way.
Yeah.
And he would for like projects that he was doing, he had to test drag coefficients of like an airfoil that he was making because he was making a plane.
Yeah.
And the only way that he could test it, because he didn't have enough money to go to like an air tunnel or like that, is that he had a charger. And so he built a rig to strap on his hood. And he's like, I even had to change the gearing in the rear end because I had to get more top speed out of this thing because I had to go 128 to get the effective airspeed that I wanted to see on this airfoil. So this guy, basically re-engineered his vehicle so he could put a cage on the hood of it with an airfoil in there, and he would have him and his brother would watch, and they go different speeds, also with like an air barometer, and everything like that to make sure that it's what he wanted, the air pressure, whatnot. He'd have to go at night, obviously, but it couldn't be a windy night, couldn't be a hot night, couldn't be a cold night, so they could test the effectiveness of the airfoil that he was making. And it's like,
I have no idea what you just said, but it sounds cool.
Because the conversation somehow came up in our class, like about speeding or something like that, because right next to a freeway the classroom was, or something like that. And he goes, "Yeah, I've gotten some citations. It was back in the late '70s." And we're like, "What did you?" Because he's kind of looks like a nerd.
Yeah.
Okay, he's an older nerd, but you can tell he's literally like a rocket scientist. He's a cool guy. He's like, "Yeah, I've got a lot of speeding tickets when I was younger." Like, what were you doing? He's like, "I was
testing airfoils."
Testing airfoils. I'm like, pause on the class.
Yeah.
Tell me about this. Yeah. I had to re-gear. I had to go. And then he started speaking my language because even then I knew about gears. And I was like, what do you mean you had to re-gear? I was like, yeah, to drop down to like a 2.2 or something like that, or a 1.8 in the back. And he's like, yeah, I lost everything down low. This is a 3-speed. Or something like that. It's like I basically couldn't even drive to school anymore. But
my test results were awesome.
But on the highway, this thing ripped. It's like, I bet it did.
Yeah. Just needed a pusher car to get it up to speed.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got a piece of paper over there. You're making me nervous.
I do. You got a couple things here to talk about. We already
Corey, you got
talked
anything
about
to say?
No, I'm chilling.
You're awfully quiet over there.
I'm chilling.
So we'll give you a mic and you don't even talk.
I'm not the star of the show here.
So you may notice there's a third voice, Corey, who's one of our behind-the-scenes guys and one of our handsomest sales technicians. He has a microphone now. He's our very own Jamie. He can chime in and tell us that we're stupid. Or he can fact-check us.
Yeah.
Look stuff up. It's awesome.
Sorry, Jim.
Sorry, Jim. Yeah, what the hell, man? But we could touch on this real quick. So Corey has a rock crawler or off-road vehicle. What do you have?
94 4Runner.
Yeah. What's done to it?
Solid axle swap front, 35 speed locks, Soon to get cage, 529 gears, lockers front and rear,
RCVs.
RCVs, and propane conversion.
Is it still running the original engine?
Yeah, 22 RE.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he's got this an awesome platform to go with. If you know anything about off-roading, that's like there's Jeep guys and
Dual
Yoda
T
guys.
cases.
Yeah, twin sticks, attaboy.
Yeah.
But he's also his current vehicle, which is a 04 Ram 1500.
Yeah.
Not a bad truck, but he's looking for something that's gonna pull a bit better.
Yeah.
So I gotta tell you guys, you can't hate Corey because I don't hate on his decision to do this. I may make fun of you, but I don't hate on his decision to do this. You know that here on the podcast, me and Tyler, and we're all about being realistic.
100%.
100% realistic.
Don't go outside your means.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
1, I love diesel trucks.
Yeah.
2, does everybody need diesel truck if they are towing? No. There are plenty of people out there that tow with a gas rig because it fits whatever. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
If just that being said, like I will always find a way to have odd diesel in my life.
Yeah.
Whether it's my party truck, a daily driver, or something like that. But so Corey's looking for a new tow rig, and we talked about it. We looked at 7.3s a little bit,
Yeah.
Because you're partial to them, as am I. But at the same time, it's like, what fits your budget? Do you want to be tinkering on the off-road rig, or do you want to be tinkering on your daily driver? Which I get.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks. I mean, I have 2 of them.
Yeah.
It's it takes time.
I'm surprised you're still married at this point, honestly.
I think my wife has found that I'm just happier when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just happier.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't know. Maybe she's just come to
Like,
that.
don't get me wrong. We've talked about this before, I'm pretty sure. But don't get me wrong. I like working on stuff. Like, it's fun. But it also gets to a point where it's like, can you just go 2 months without anything?
For
You know
for
what I
me,
mean?
and we're gonna get to Corey's tow rig in a second here, but like for me, we've talked about it before. Like I knew this thing was gonna nickel and dime me for about a year.
Yeah.
We're at about a year.
Yeah.
And I've handled a whole bunch of issues on it. And
Where's your PCM right now?
my PCM is currently with FedEx. I wasn't going to talk about that on this one, but we'll get into it. So
We can talk about that in the second one. It's fine.
yeah, okay.
But I just thought it was
Tune in next episode to hear
You-
about my PCM issues.
you set yourself up perfectly for that.
I did. Right? But it has nickeled and dimed me. But it was, I knew it was going to happen. And it was going to be about a year or so. And I'm getting very, very close to it being, while it is a 20-year-old vehicle, being done nickel and diming me.
Yeah.
Knock
Should
on
be.
wood, whatever.
In
but
theory.
In theory, right?
Yeah.
But for someone like Corey who lives 3.5 miles from work.
So I drive 15 miles a week.
Wow. I thought he was going to say a day.
Yeah. A week.
It's a mile and a half one way.
Yeah.
Dude, it'd probably be cheaper for you just to like find one of those Lime scooters laying around and just ride that to work.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
So when I brought up the cost benefit analysis to like having a commuter vehicle or something like that, Corey put his stats in there. I was like,
It's going to take 18 years to pay
Yeah.
off this $800 car.
you could literally just dump gas out your window the entire time you're driving here, and it's still not going to be
Still not
effective.
going to make sense. Yeah.
You could be getting 3 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
Still worth it.
Yeah.
And then I offered to, I was like, well, we could calculate in how much it would cost for you to buy shoes to walk or a bike, and then the cost benefit analysis of benefit of getting in better shape, but also the cost benefit of you're going to eat more and this and that and the time. It's like, no. So Corey lives like a mile and a half from work, maybe 2 miles at most.
Yeah.
So him having a diesel, like to tow a 4Runner on a trailer,
Yeah.
you're not pushing the limits of basically any, as long as you're getting at least a 3/4 ton gas or diesel, you're going to be well within your working limits there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So Corey's currently looking at, I think he's looking at one this weekend, but it is a
2011 GMC.
You got a picture of it? Is it on Craigslist?
No, I got it on my phone.
Yeah.
Can you put it on the laptop thing? Is that a possibility?
I could just give you my phone. Once
I
I
know,
get
but
it.
I have this awesome freaking like 60-inch right here.
So it's an 11 GMC 2500 crew cab, short bed. I believe it's an SLE package, which means it's like the loaded leather, dual climate.
What does
seat
SLE
warmers.
stand for?
No idea. I never learned
Super
luxurious in interior.
interior.
I'm sure some GM nut's gonna comment. Oh, it's super simple. It's okay,
yeah.
badangadoo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a 6.0 GMC truck with a 6-speed automatic, which I believe that's the 6L80, 6L180, 6L80. Right, yeah, 4L80, 6L80.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Ooh.
With the nice
Did you
wheels.
fart? Did you fart?
No, I could probably make one happen though.
No. It's kind of stinky in here.
Yeah, it's got
Okay. All right.
167 on it. I love that front end. It's one of my favorite
Yeah.
front ends.
Yeah.
I like it. I dig
Very
it.
simple. Yeah,
Looks like it's got a shaker hood.
yeah. It's a good looking truck.
Yeah, dude. That'll
Fog lights
do
and
just
everything,
fine.
man. Yeah, it'll tow your 4Runner on there just fine. Dude.
Oh,
Interior
look
looks
at
good.
that
Sunroof, wood grain.
Oh, it's got wood.
Yeah. That's a good looking truck. But yeah, so I mean,
Where's
it's
that at? Where's Medimont?
It's like going to like St. Mary's.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. That's a nice drive. If anything, it'll be a nice drive.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the cases where having a gas rig is not necessarily, I mean, you're definitely not out doing it with a gas rig. Would I prefer you have a diesel? 100%.
Yeah, me too.
It's just practicality.
Yeah, no, I get it. 100%. I drove a gas rig for a little while until I got my head on straight and,
Put your big boy pants on.
well, saved some money and, yeah, then I just went and bought a brand new truck. So, yeah, what's up?
Holla at your boy.
If I would work the truck more, I'd totally be all about getting a diesel. But
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think if
being-
you had like a toy hauler camper
Yeah.
that you were putting that in or something like that, or you were towing more often, or you just drove more, honestly. Because for me and you, we pretty much have about the same mileage commute.
Yeah,
I'd say
mine's just
roughly.
half as long because I got that freeway that I get to drive
Yeah.
on.
But like I would hesitate to you do not. Well, I can't say that for sure because I had a diesel when I lived even closer, but like we almost live too close to even have a diesel to make sense.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't necessarily have to make sense, but like there are certain scenarios, like Corey's scenario, where like he would start up his truck, and if it's not 105 degrees outside,
Yeah,
it probably wouldn't even get to operating temperature before it got here.
Yeah.
And that is what kills diesels.
Yeah.
Emissions intact or not, that's what kills them. They were built to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
They're built to run. When you start and stop them, start and stop them, start. I'm not saying like don't use your diesel to go run errands or something like that. But when its life is basically lived like 10 minutes at a time,
Yeah.
that's when you start seeing issues with diesels.
100%.
Fact. Fact. So yeah, Corey, I would say you're a perfect candidate to not have one for that. Now, if you were going to get a diesel, I know we talked about 7.3s, but what were you? Because let's dive into this a little bit. What was your budget?
no more than 20.
And because we talk about budgeting on here, is that because you want to be able to pay cash for it? You don't want to get a loan? You want to pay like 50% down or something like that, or what?
Just because it's kind of more reasonable. It's still going to be the most expensive vehicle I've ever bought. So I still haven't wrapped my head around being able to like buy a truck that expensive.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, it looks like you're it sounds like you're going about it smart-wise. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be like Dave Ramsey over here because I'm definitely not. But, not getting over your head,
Yeah.
being realistic and,
Yeah.
and knowing like, hey, I've got this amount of money to work with.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to work with.
the main thing is making sure like I didn't want a payment over 400. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it. No, that's a great option for you, man. No, I hope
Yeah.
I hope it works out.
I'm excited for you to get that thing out, get on the trails and start having some fun.
I know.
Yeah.
Because you're probably about almost 8 months into this project.
I bought not that long. I bought the 4Runner in March.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're not far to at all.
Right now I'm just at the collecting parts phase.
Yeah.
But I have the cage ordered. I've got pretty much all the gears, lockers, everything sitting on my workbench at home. Last weekend in August, I think we're putting it all in. So
Right on. So you'll be like ready.
I'm
to
sorry,
rip.
July. Last week of July.
So you'll be ready to shred.
Yeah.
Where you going? First trip?
I don't know yet. I wanna
Tacoma Creek.
I wanna see if Jesse will maybe do a trip to the. He's going there this weekend. Natchez.
Oh,
Natchez?
wow.
Okay.
Yeah. The moon rocks over there.
Yeah, I like to take the side by side up there.
Yeah.
Not
Well, that
the
just goes
one
to
where the
show
dude
you.
lost his hand.
Yeah,
The other
no Banana Man. That's down in Reno, Tahoe. Yeah. That just goes to show you. I'm gonna toot our own horn here, but when you call in and talk to your sales techs here at Diesel Power Products, we are a lot more versed in a lot more things than you might think. There's a lot of places you may call and you find someone that knows how to push a keyboard, knows what a certain part does or that, but we got guys here that are. And
Speaking of that, real quick, because so I know there's some like companies that'll just like read right off their website, right?
Yeah.
So every now and again, I'll get a sales call, and I don't even remember what the part was, but it was like such a simple part, and the guy was like, "Can you tell me about it?" Well, I'm like, "Yeah, it does this, and this, and this." He's like, "Are you just reading the website?" I'm like, "Well, what else do you want me to tell you?"
yeah.
Like, you could have read the website too, you jerk.
Yeah. Like, I'm a real dude, a real person. I have a lot of knowledge. How about you ask me a real question?
Like, what's the part number? Well, it's C5. You're just reading the website. No shit. God.
I will never.
It's like literally, like, dude. Okay, you want to know something, bro? I made that listing myself.
Yeah.
I did that.
Like-
so yeah, I'm reading it because I wrote it.
Like, when I tell you this, sir, I'm not trying to sound facetious, or I'm not even trying to make this up. I fucking wrote the listing. Okay? My fingers typed it and I put it on the website.
So yes, I am going to read you what I wrote
Yeah.
because I wrote it. Came from my noggin.
This is this reminds me of the throttle sensitivity booster guy from
Yeah, what does it do?
From way back. Oh my god! I thought this guy was going to reach through the phone and punch me in the throat. This guy was like, "Can you tell me about this BD part?" And he gave me a part number.
Yeah.
I looked up. Oh, it's the BD throttle sensitivity booster. Yeah, great for getting rid of lag and just really kind of gets it going a little bit faster. Like, well, what does it do? I was like, well, it's a throttle sensitivity booster. Stop reading the listing and telling me what the name of the part is. Tell me what it does. Okay. Well, you've probably noticed on your truck when you press the throttle that it just seems to not be sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this increases the sensitivity of that throttle.
Yeah.
And you could hear him breathing hard. Like, am I going to rip this guy? And I'm like, please don't kill me. Like,
Like, dude, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I am not a thesaurus. I'm not going to just start spouting other words that mean the same thing.
you want to know what it is. The title's in the name.
Yeah.
What is toilet paper? Tell me what the toilet paper is. Like, it's. I can't pull over any farther. Like,
Yeah.
it's just toilet paper, man.
I don't know what else you want me to say, man. It's toilet paper. Yeah, that cracked me up. I was like, because I even told I was like, yeah, dude. Like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah. Do you
We have a section that says features and benefits.
Yeah.
You're asking me about the features and maybe some of the benefits. Oh, gotcha. It's like shit,
We're the
dude.
worst.
We're not the worst. We're the best. That's why we put all that stuff on there, and then we look like dicks when we're just reading the things that we already wrote.
It's true. Point, Tyler.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's going to about wrap this one up, guys. We greatly appreciate you guys all tuning in. And
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Did you just recently watch Anchorman? 'Cause
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's all. And thanks for stopping by.
And stay classy.
Yeah. Fuck you, San Diego. Who put that? You know. Oh, God. Ron, have to fire you. You're fired.
But also stay classy.
Yeah, stay classy.
See you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at dieselpowerproducts.com.